Alright. Well, when I turned it off, I didn't really see a problem. So I think it might just be OBS. Maybe. I wanted to do number 1 and then Poogie, but I forgot to do the separation. Not bad. Let's put a thicker outline on these girls. But yeah, as I was saying, Six Flags has like the highest like accident rate, mortality rate. There has been really sad things happening at Disneyland, though. I mean, any place like that's bound to have accidents, but it's always sad. Actually, there's a lot of cases of people spreading their ashes at Disneyland, you know, illegally, right? Because like some people, you know, I guess like usually like if a kid dies or if someone like this was their happiest place, some people will sneak ashes into Disneyland and spread them on rides or spread them into like the lakes or stuff. A famous place to do it is in the Haunted Mansion. There's actually, they have to like vacuum up the Haunted Mansion a couple times a year to make sure that there's no like human dust in the air. Because it used to be a real problem. I don't know if it's still the same anymore, but there was like this big problem of just people like spreading their ashes in Disneyland. It's pretty nuts. You know, maybe they would request, Disneyland, can I, my son died of a young age. This was his favorite, you know, place. Can it be his final resting place? And Disneyland will be like, no, because we can't have human remains out and about. Sorry. And they would do it anyways. So, yeah. Supposedly there's a big hefty fine if you're caught doing it. I mean, it costs a lot of money for them to like clean it up and all that. So if you were to spread your ashes at Disneyland, don't bother because they're gonna get rid of them anyways. So you wouldn't really be staying there. I mean, I'm sure they can't get rid of all the ashes 100%, but maybe it's not worth it. I'm just saying. It is really gross, you know? People do crazy things, you know? Me, I find it fascinating. I mean, it doesn't stop me going to the Haunted Mansion. If anything, it probably makes the Haunted Mansion more haunted, right? But Disneyland tries its best to pass health regulations and stuff like that, so don't think you're gonna go in there inhaling chunks of bone. But I think that might have happened more in the past, you know? I also like that thing where Disneyland has a bunch of feral cats living at the parks, all to catch mice, because there is a huge rodent problem. Which is kind of ironic, because, you know, you'd think Mickey Mouse would be safe, his brethren would be safe in his own amusement park, but nope. Can't have that happening, so you just employ hundreds of cats every night. And then they scoop them all up when the day starts again, and it goes on every single night. Which I kind of like. Has its own little ecosystem. There's like whole generations of ducks that never leave the Disneyland parks. Because why would they have to leave? You know, the signs say don't feed the ducks, but people obviously do. And they're protected there. You know. Disneyland also has like, you know, stuff to make sure that no one gets pooped on in the park. So they put those like hidden spikes everywhere so pigeons can't land on signs or stuff like that, so they don't have to clean up a lot of bird poop. There really isn't that much. It mostly just comes from the ducks, but it kind of creates like a not a comfy place for birds. You really won't see any pigeons at Disneyland. Mostly you'll see the ducks because they live in the water and they can't poison the water, so I might accidentally drink it. I almost flew out of one of those octopus rides, and now that I've seen videos of people getting thrown off amusement rides, I'm never getting on one again. Yeah, spinny rides I don't like to do for that reason. Why does the air taste like Greg? I guess they can't use poison because of a large amount of small children. Yeah, exactly, too. You never know if like a kid's gonna like lick something that it finds on the floor and stuff like that, you know. The cats are the most effective way to take care of that. I wonder if being pooped on at Disneyland is more magical. I got pooped on at SeaWorld when I was like 5. And I was crying and my mom's like, no, it's good luck. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel to get pooped on by anything. Even if it is a tiny bird. Donald has chosen me. Still waiting for a Kingdom Hearts ride. It'll never happen. They're just missing out. Alright, let's fix up her face a bit. Make these guns a little more pronounced. Let's fix up her fingers here. They're putting rides in Kingdom Hearts 3, funny enough. Yeah, right? Wasn't like the teacups like one of the summons in Kingdom Hearts or something? That's in parks in Mexico, no safety regulations. I'll bet. I remember there was like this crazy like water slide in somewhere in Europe, I believe. It was like so nuts that it kept failing like some of its like safety tests, like the sandbags would fly out of like the raft that they would use to go down. And they're like, yeah, just open it. So it was going alright until someone accidentally got like their head like cut off when they got thrown out of the ride. And you know, now the ride, you know, they can't dismantle it because I guess it's too expensive, but they definitely can't operate it anymore. But it's just like, whew, now that's a real ride. I almost feel like they should, for rides like those, it's like, why don't we just make them sign a waiver? Therefore we can still operate it and make money off it. But you know, it's like, Jesus. That must have been such a traumatizing day, you know? I think the worst thing that's ever happened to me in an amusement park is someone throws up on the ride, you know? Knott's Berry Farm had this ride. If you guys aren't familiar with Knott's Berry Farm, it's like a local... does it count as an amusement park or a theme park? Disneyland's a theme park. Six Flags is an amusement park. I guess Knott's Berry Farm is also an amusement park? Whatever. But it used to have this ride where they would strap you onto these like metal ponies. Like it would be a ride with like no back, no seating. They would literally strap you onto like a pony. It was called the Pony Express, and you would have to hold onto the bars. And I got to ride on that ride before they shut it down completely because too many people kept flying off it. And I was riding it at half speed. I used to go at 60 miles an hour. And now they kind of toned it down to like 30, and it was still pretty tough. I was like not secure on that thing at all. I was like, whoa. It was one of the scariest rides I'd ever been on, and it wasn't even that nuts. It was just like, yeah, it wasn't even that fast, but it really just felt like when we were going sideways and stuff, it's like, I'm gonna die. So I think it's still there. They just are gonna repurpose it into another ride that's more safe. Yeah. Bungee jumping, skydiving, do the waiver thing. The themes are really sort of loose definitions of themes. Okay, it's a theme park. Yeah. Ugh. See, that's just the thing. If a ride's gonna be dangerous, I still feel like you can still profit off it as long as like you just say, hey, this ride's very dangerous. Here's a legal waiver. You guys are aware of the things. And I feel like maybe then more parents would be like, no, we're not gonna have our kid ride this, or no, I'm not gonna ride this because I have a heart condition or something like that, right? Because I know Disney puts a bunch of signs going, if you got a back or neck problem, if you're pregnant, if you have a heart problem, if you're easily startled, if this, do not get on this ride. You know, they put these warnings. It's just like, if you have any of these health conditions, if you're the least bit skittish, if you're likely to sue, don't ride these rides. You know, they put those signs everywhere. And so it's just like, all right, for the most part, they got their bases covered. But, you know, like, I went ATVing once, and I had to sign a waiver for that, but it wasn't even that crazy. I guess in case that it ever rolled off the hill, I could have been in big trouble, but whatever. It does make you feel a little more like, ooh, I'm signing my life away. If something happens, I'm fucked, you know? But, you know. If you're willing to take that risk, you take it. Some people just love adrenaline, you know? Anyway, sorry to gross you guys out with that conversation. I'm really like fascinated by that stuff, so I'm sorry if you're eating or anything like that. I just realized that was a pretty inappropriate convo, so my bad. Yeah, if something happens, you're dead. Well, losing your head is more fatal than dangerous. Yeah. Yeah, water parks are really, sorry, Talden. Water parks are really dangerous because you can never, like, exactly know how a raft is going to slide down the water slide or how a person is going to slide down or slide. You know, it's like, well, average, you know, if they keep their hands like this, if they don't stick around on the slide, they should be fine. So I always feel like water slides, water parks have the most variables of things going wrong because you can't completely control the flow of water. You can direct it, but you never know. I'm fascinated by pigeon fecal plaza. I'm fascinated how Disneyland keeps that from not happening. Like, they really, like, I've been to other, like, theme parks, like Knott's Berry Farm and Six Flags, and it's never that clean. Disneyland is, like, unnaturally clean. I mean, it's cool. I like it. But it's also kind of like, how'd they do that, you know? I guess it's not that, like, mind-bending of a secret. Because, you know, they should, like, we put little spikes everywhere so birds don't like to land here, you know, we put little spikes all over the strip so birds don't like to park anywhere outside in downtown Disney. And when you actually see it, you're like, oh, you know. I like it when things are hidden, right? Like Disneyland, if you look at their trash cans, they're kind of like, you'll notice it's a trash can, but in each part of the theme park, they're designed differently. Like if you go to Adventureland, they look like they're made of wood. If you go to like Tomorrowland, they look like they're made out of little rocket ships or something. I don't know. And I kind of like that, how everything kind of just blends in together so you don't really notice like these like things. Like, I don't know. It's kind of like when you go to Vegas and there's no clocks in the casinos. They do that so that you lose your sense of time and you just stay longer in there and stuff like that. Or all casinos have a certain lighting in them to make it feel like, well, it could be late day, but it doesn't feel late. It could be, you know, just like, it feels like the night's just starting. They all have this kind of lighting that's not too dark nor too bright. Cannot be too bright, cannot be too dark. And it kind of just makes this, like, nice, like, yeah, you know, it is nice. It's just nice and mellow in here, nice and cool. It doesn't feel late. And then before you know it, you're there, like, until, like, 2 a.m., and that's exactly what they want. And, I don't know. It's so cool how people think about how people think when they design a building to trap you there, to make sure you stay. Like Disneyland, they pump out those like those smells. They really do. They'll pump out smells of like cinnamon or vanilla in Main Street, and it kind of makes people go like, it kind of makes people like more likely to spend more time in that area, more time to spend money, because Main Street is where all the shops kind of are. That's where the most of the shops are too, and yeah, I like that. That's also why I think Cinnabons are mainly only found in malls. I've never seen, at least where I live, is that the lighting I use on my stream? It's bright as hell in here. But I've noticed that, like, at least where I live, Cinnabons, they're cinnamon bun-like stands, I only see them in the mall. And I was like, how come I never see a Cinnabons, like, just, like, out by McDonald's or something, like, out by a Baskin-Robbins? Like, I only see them in malls. Where I live. And I heard a long time ago that people are, when you smell cinnamon, it makes you more likely to just to be more open to just like experiencing new things, as in like buying things. You know, you'd be more likely to browse shops that you normally wouldn't. Like, if, you know, if you're just going to like, I just need to buy like some shoes, whatever. But you go to a mall and then it's just like, well, there's all this stuff here. And then I guess if you faintly smell cinnamon, your brain is just kind of more relaxed. It's like you're not so much on guard and you're just like, oh, well, maybe I can, like, you know, check out that Hot Topic, whatever. I'm sure they have, like, some, I don't know, they got some Harry Potter stuff I might like, you know, frivolous mind. Yeah, and it's all usually put by, like, the entrance, especially, like, anywhere by the food court. It's one of the first things you see. And the cinnamon thing, if you ever enter Disneyland, Main Street is the first street you enter before you go out through the rest of the park. So, yeah, it's cool. I like it. Mass hypnosis through smell. I like it. It reminds me of science fiction. I mean, it isn't science fiction, it's real, but it's cool. Anyways, I really like Disneyland. It's my favorite place. Alright. But enough about my obsessions. How are you guys doing? Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's stream. This is the Jill Valentine stream. The patented Jill sandwich. Repurposed for Valentine's Day. That is one lucky zombie. Do you guys have a favorite Disney movie? Do you guys have a favorite Disneyland ride? Do you guys hate Disneyland? Do you guys prefer Six Flags or any other local amusement or theme park in your area? There's like a lot of them where I live. I think Southern California just has, it just has a lot of places for entertainment. There's like lots of miniature golf courses and laser tag places. I feel like I should carry Cinnamon Bun with me. I would name it Fred. How long would Fred last in this world? I love cinnamon buns. I haven't had any in so long. There's just some foods I never tasted again after I kind of went on a diet and lost a lot of weight. Because I know I have no will control around them. But I do miss cinnamon buns. I used to get like a cup of like the gooey cinnamon bits, like the parts in the middle, and eat those. Now, if I ever had a cinnamon bun, I think I would like the toasted bits better. That's just how I generally like my fries and everything else that's baked. Get her hair a little cleaner. By the way, for everyone who stopped by the stream, thanks for spending your time here. I really do appreciate it. To be honest, I wasn't sure if anyone would stick around to see me draw this for this long. I'm surprised I have been drawing it for this long, but it's a subject matter I like. Alrighty. 2 seconds, yeah. I'd believe that. Also, if you guys have any questions, please let me know. You saw me stumbling around trying to answer someone else's question, but I do like trying to answer them. If I do not have all the information, I try to give you all the information that I do have. And, you know, I try to direct you to the right answer if I don't have it. One of these days I'll get super better at drawing guns. Like, I feel like with guns I'm always just doing guesswork, you know? Even when I am, like, referencing them, it feels weird. I just gotta get better at drawing straight lines. Totally theme park related, but I finally organized these hands. Let's see your hands. Damn, Faya. You are on fire. Those are really good hands, actually. How was that? Studying just one aspect of the human body for so long. feel like you gotten better at hands, like easier to draw? Hate using rulers. Yeah, I'm not big on rulers either. I mean, I'll do it when I have to, but for the most part, I avoid them. When I do traditional art, I kind of have. When I start inking, I'll definitely have to use a ruler on some places, you know? But I generally try to avoid using them too. Because if you're not good at using a ruler, it just looks unnatural and stuff too, you know? Like if your whole piece is like, you know, like sketchy art and wobbly lines, and then you got a couple really straight ones here and there, it looks out of place. So unless you can incorporate them into your style, I don't recommend rulers. You know, sometimes you just have to like work on a steady hand, and even if it's not completely steady, sometimes that slight wobbliness kind of ties everything together with the rest of everything you're doing, right? And sometimes I don't want to hatch at all, so I just go in with the big brush like this and just slowly start to put this all in myself. By the way, Talon, I'm so sorry I said all that stuff while you were eating. I feel really bad about that. This I should hatch the other way. From Kitty. I don't know what band that is, Doglum. Where I have strong stomach, then listening. Now, if you popped the brain in front of me, I'd be like, yo. Yeah, I don't want to get into visceral detail. I just hope that never happens to me, you know? It's like, alright. Gonna go celebrate my birthday. I used to work at an ice skating place, and that was full of terrible accidents, you know, people skating for the first time and then they, you know, injure themselves. Sometimes the injuries were visibly bad, and that was like tough. Me and the staff there, we were all taught, we all had to have, you know, first aid. We all had to know how to administer CPR and stuff like that. But even when we finished our classes, our bosses were like, all right, now that you guys have your little certificates and you can, like, you know, administer the first aid, don't do it. You call the manager, don't ever administer first aid. It's like, all right. Definitely improving. I think it's helping my ability to just draw in general too, since I usually just paint things. Nice, Faya. Hi, Michelle. Yeah, happy Valentine's Day. I hope you're having a good time in Vegas. Thanks for stopping by the stream. Can I skate? When I was younger, I could. I haven't like skated in like 10 years. I haven't skated in like 10 years. Maybe if I tried to, I could. I was good at ice skating, but not at rollerblading. And I wasn't the best at braking, but I could skate. It was just something I did for fun. Stop slouching. I wish I could skate like Yuri on Ice. Very homosexual. No, I'm just kidding. But when I was a kid, I wanted to be a figure skater. I remember I was seeing lots of figure skaters when I was a kid on TV, like Michelle Kwan and stuff like that. And there's an ice rink right where I lived. Back then it was like, it was called Disney Ice. And then it's no longer owned by Disney, but yeah, and I used to go there as a kid, and then I used to work there when I was going to college. And I hated it. It's always like that. When you actually have to work somewhere, you just have this new perspective on it, and it's just like, oof. I didn't hate it, though. I just worked the snack bar. Sometimes I would work on the ice. But, yeah. I was better at food stuff. Alright, almost done here. Maybe we could draw something on the last half hour. That's true, Faya. You are a painter more than a, illustrator. I guess I should say illustrator more than drawer, huh? But, I always wish I had, like, the painter, like, eye, you know? Because when you paint, you can see things a bit differently. You could be able to see lighting and blocking better, like shapes better, I think, if you know how to paint. Sometimes I try to paint, I explore it and see what happens, but I'm never as comfortable with it as drawing. So one of these days I should do what you're doing, Faya, and just do like, give myself a month to just really train, try to boost my skills. One day, when I have the time. You were an ice skater. Everyday practice was not good once I became a teen, but everyday practice, oh, sorry about that. But that's so cool, you know? I mean, the only thing I practiced after school was marching band and stuff like that. And that was alright. But I always wished I was more involved in like a sport, you know? But I always had to choose between the two, because, yeah, I could only have one elective, so I could only either choose between like a sport or an art. And I always kept choosing music. So. And now I don't do anything with music. But I still have my saxophones. They were my brother's saxophones, so it's not like my parents bought me a saxophone. Saxophones are expensive, so maybe one of these days I'll have to pawn it, sell it, but I don't know if I could. I hold on to things too long. Put a little ribbing here. Hey Nurgle, how's it going? I'm doing alright. Welcome to the Valentine's Day stream. We're talking about various things. I hope you have a good Valentine's Day, Nurgle. To be honest, I hated painting before digital. There's no painter's eye. Ah, I see. I feel like your lighting is more on point than mine, Faya. Alright. I'm going to just... I'll keep the lips like that. Screw it. Let me just put a little gradient behind this guy here. Forgetting to separate. Separate, separate, separate. Feel fat, too much food. That's such a good feeling though, AD. Everything is okay for me so far. I'm just at a standstill right now in Neo on which clan to pledge to. I have to pick 1 out of 38. Damn, well that's a lot of decisions. I mean, that's a lot of options, so yeah, really put thought into it. You don't want to pick the wrong one. You have 37 chances to pick the wrong one. Hello, Greg Bob Jr. I just found you were streaming, but I don't have time to watch till I get home. Aw, man. Well, I'm only streaming for another 30 minutes, so hopefully you can make it. After that, I gotta go get dinner and stuff and go to the gym. But thanks for coming in, like, just now. And hopefully you can catch me longer next time. And have a good Valentine's Day if I don't see you again. If I don't see you till after the holidays. Alright, let's see here. I'll just leave the hearts, just leave those up there. I'll make them red. Happy Valentine's Day. Let's see if I can put some quick lighting on him. No pressure. Is anyone gonna go see Lego Batman? Or if anyone did, can you tell me if it was worth seeing in theaters? Or is this something that's like, you can wait for it to get on Netflix or Hulu or whatever? Like, I liked the Lego movie. I wasn't a super huge fan of it, but I thought it was pretty cool for what it was, you know? Oops. Wrong ingredient. Gosh darn it, Photoshop. to get going. Have a good evening. Well, thank you, DFX Rom. Always a pleasure to have you. And hope I see you next time. Alright, let's get those blood effects going on here. And drawing blood is always so much fun. I gotta get better at rendering it though. I mean, this is like, you know, I'm not gonna super render it this time, but it's always one of my favorite things to do once the picture is almost complete, you know? Why is there a truck so late outside my house? Dog won't get me more flowers? Very Valentine's Eve. And you got 2 Jill Valentines here from Resident Evil. And you got some hearts. It checks off the Valentine's list. Erase a little bit here and there. It's not super harsh. Alright, cool. Just a little bit. See, this is the part where I have a hard time with drawing, because I keep drawing, you know? I gotta say, it has been a while since I've drawn something specifically for Valentine's Day that was just like non-specific, with like no one in mind. But this is the most fun I've ever had drawing one. I just really want to play Resident Evil again too. Hopefully I'll get my wish this Valentine's Day. Let's get a textured brush. Let's get a different texture brush. Because blood, when it's on a cloth, it's more like soaked in look, you know? It's not so much solid shapes anymore. Looking good. I played a little bit of Resident Evil 7. I haven't bought it yet. I borrowed a copy from someone and then they went to Japan for a month, so I'm waiting for them to come back. I might just rent it at the Redbox. Do I do drawings for viewers? Yeah, sometimes I have viewer request streams. Usually I do those near... I'll usually pick a Friday. Usually that's when a lot of my viewers kind of have the day off. But, yes, I do sometimes. Not today, though. Sorry about that. But I do. Just sometimes. Usually when I have a request stream going on, I'll put it in the title, too. So, to draw more viewers in, so I can draw them. Darn it, I'm doing the same thing again. I was using this brush.
itself is fine, but based off my calculations that my processor will fry, but I can still pretend to dream about these days so devastating
Alright, and
we get placed into this room without a compass so ugly, but when I look in my heart, I know
so I was just checking something out. But I mean, can they get the art themselves on their PC, of course? Sometimes. It depends on what it is, but yeah, if it's like a small little sketch, it's fine, but if it's like a big old request, I have to charge that like a commission. Yeah, I'll do it all these days as a commission. Yeah. But the stuff I draw on stream is just like little things on those request things. Sometimes I try to go all out, but for the most part, yeah. That's just how it's gotta be, sorry. Shoot, okay, there it is. Let me get this going. Do you draw too, Chave? Chavi? Sorry if I said your name wrong. Didn't mean to. Someone in a small portrait looking through from profile pic. Oh, I see. If it's definitely something you're going to use again and again, it would have to count as a commission. Like, sometimes I'll do little request things like viewer streams, but for the most part, if it's art you're going to be using again and again, me, myself, I would rather if people kept seeing my art, it was a good job at it, and I wouldn't want it to just be some, like, freebie thing, because those I kind of don't put as much effort into. So, unfortunately for something like that, I would have to say, like, yeah, that would just definitely be a commission, which I'm always open for. But my request streams are usually just for, like, sketchy doodle things. So, yeah. Okay, sorry. Alright, I think this is as much as I should do with this guy. I feel like any more would just be too much. Whoops, and there she goes. Let me fix that mouth. I'm not really digging it. Let's take this one. That's why I drew them so similar. To make this go by much faster. How much would it cost for a small portrait? Generally speaking, I would have to treat it like any other portrait. And for me, portraits run at least like 87. You would have to give me an example of how like detailed you'd want it to be. Like a sketch like this would be well into the hundreds because I'm drawing like 3 people on there. Well, maybe this one would be more lenient because one was kind of a copy paste of each other. But generally speaking, like if it's just like a sketch thing, it would probably start at like 50. What are my rates? I never recognize them. Anything sketch would start at 52, and that's just sketch. But anything beyond that, if you wanted it more finished, I would have to like talk about it, like, you know, I would have to see what your like example is, because some people just want flat colors, some people want shading and lighting, the whole works. So, but just to let you know, flat rate would be at least $52 USD. So yeah. Yeah. Shoot. Dang, I keep closing out of the chat. Let me see if I could put this. There you go. If you follow that link there, it takes you to any sketch would be 52, because even if I'm just sketching the head, it would just be like I said, man, if you want me to like draw something like a really simple face, you gotta show me like a reference of like how much detail you want in it. But generally speaking, even if I'm just drawing a portrait, I charge by the hour, like I charge by the time it takes me to draw something. So if I were to draw like a sketch of just a portrait, it would be way more detailed than the usual heads I draw in my sketches, you know? Like, cause if I only have like an hour to draw something, or 2 hours or whatever, then I'm only gonna focus it on just like, alright, well, I have to draw the whole body, then everything has to have equal amount of detail, right? But if I just do a portrait, I just focus entirely on the portrait, and it's just, that's just kinda how it is. Like, so, yeah. Yeah, sure, go for it, Chibe. I'll be here for another 15 minutes. Man, I'm gonna fix that zipper. It is just not working out the way I wanted it to. I think that looks a little better. Man, I hate that. I hate when it looks too sloppy though. I know this is a sketch, but sometimes just gotta make it look better. Shoot, sorry. Dang it, I can't believe I just keep closing out of the chat. It sucks. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, I played a little bit of Resident Evil 7. I got up to the part where I fought, let's see, I fought the dad in the garage. I was at the part where I got up to, I put the second dog head in that big door that needs 3 dog heads, right? And I got the second one. That's as far as I got in the game. So I want to play more of it, you know, I want to see what happens, because I was really, really digging it. And I'm trying hard to avoid spoilers, so yeah. I've started not liking charging by the hour. I always go over my time anyway. I want to try charging by value, but I doubt people will pay that. Well, kind of what I mean is like, for 52 bucks, you're pretty much getting like a little more than 2 hours of my time for a sketch. If we were to break it down, like my pay rate is usually like $32 an hour is what my official pay rate is, right? The goal is to try to complete it within 2 hours. I do this so that I don't spend too much time on each and every drawing, right? Like I could get too invested. Like this, I'm obviously like spending a lot of time on it. You know, for a sketch, I'm putting like way too much, but this is just something for my own enjoyment. But I do think what's good about charging by the hour is you get a good gauge of how long it takes you to draw something, right? So someone goes like, okay, I want you to, I want to commission you to draw Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII. And you, knowing what you can do in an hour and stuff, it's like, well, you know, that would generally take me like 2 hours, like 52 bucks. Like that's the flat rate. It's gonna take me at least 2 hours. And for me, it's just like, I need to do it. It's not like, okay, 2 hours are up, that's it, I'm done, that's it. It's me trying to like stay efficient in my time. Because I used to have this problem where I kind of just had like, well, this is how much everything costs, right? And the way that I calculated how much it would be value is pretty much by charging how much time I generally put into a piece. A sketch usually takes me an hour to 2 hours. A colored piece usually takes me like 5 to 8 hours, something like that, you know? So based off that time and by the hourly rate, I just go, it's generally going to cost this. And I always have to charge for commissions because that's just more added time to it. And then I'll just like, yeah. Yeah, you can post a link, Chibe. If you don't think it's worth 52 bucks, I'll be the judge of that. Because this is what I do for a living, so... Not that I'm judging your judgment, but we'll see if it's worth 52 bucks. Because, like I said, if it looks like it's gonna take longer than that, then I'm just gonna have to be straight up honest with you. It's like, yeah, well, I'm gonna have to do that. Or if it takes less time than that. If it looks like it's only gonna take me an hour, sure. But generally speaking, I'm not trying to like, how can I say this? I just know how long it takes me to draw things. Usually when I say, oh yeah, this is only gonna take me an hour, it usually takes me work like longer and stuff like that. So, let's see. You want me to draw it in that exact style? Like, with those proportions and everything? I don't know, man. I mean, if you want it like that, there's probably like I would say like anything that's not like that price that I've listed is, no offense, not something like I can do. Even if it's barely shaded, it's still something that's gonna take me at least, how can I explain it? Even though it's just barely shaded, that just means like the line art has to be like pretty much on point, right? And so it's like, even if it only did take me like an hour to do it, you'd be surprised. If something looks like I took an hour to do, that's rarely not the case. If you go back in time and actually look at a lot of my streams, you can see that it's just like I spend a lot of time tweaking and cleaning and stuff like that, even to get that simple style. So generally, even like with like that, where it's just line art and like barely any shading, I would have to charge probably just a flat rate of 52. Only because that's just my flat rate. It generally takes me that long. And just think of it as just like I will be giving you that much time that it deserves. But if it's out of like, you know, your budget, I totally understand. You know, sorry, there's nothing I can do about that. You know, I'm really glad that you like my style and would want to incorporate that with your profile, but at the same time, I think every artist has to know this. You kind of have to stand firm to your prices, because at the end of the day, if that's your main income of living like me, I can't haggle that price that much, because then it's not fair to the other people that are paying me that much, you know? It's just like I have to give that much time for every piece to make it worth that much, so yeah. Oh hey, Skull Crusher. Yeah, I dig Resident Evil and zombies too. It's my Valentine's Day thing. I drew 2 Jill Valentines. So, yeah, that was a fun stream. But yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I said, 52 bucks is just like, that's just how much time I'm gonna put into something. Like, my sketches are usually just full body. It's just gonna be pretty sketchy. Like, let me check one. Like, this was like a $52 sketch, you know? And it's just like, it's still kind of messy and stuff, but you know, it's a sketch. And that's pretty much what I offer. The thing is, it's just like, I mean, it's hard because I'm only 13, I don't even make my own money off my job yet. Alright, sorry, Cheve. I understand it's hard to come by for money to pay for art, but at the same time, it's hard for me to draw art for cheap. And I'm not saying that to be mean. It's just that this is how, like, you know, it's hard to bargain with, like, your job, you know? So, you know, I'm really sorry I can't make it any lower than that. You know, I'm pretty sure you can find another artist that can draw in that style for, like, more closer to what you can afford. And I hope you can find someone like that. I'm pretty sure you can. There's, like, a bunch of artists on, like, you know, Twitch alone, on Twitter, you know, on DeviantArt, on Tumblr, and they could definitely do something like that. So, yeah, I'll respectfully have to decline, and yeah. My prices are modest. Yeah, it's hard for me to raise my prices. That's why it took me a long time to come to those prices that I have already, and my confidence isn't up yet to, like, price it more. So that's why I go, like, it's basically 2 hours of work. This is how much work I can do in 2 hours, at the very least. So, yeah, it's always tough when, like, when artists ask me, how do you price it? I'd be like, well, generally I do this, but more goes into it, so. What you mean, it's a living, it's hard to bargain because you still need to make money. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that you understand that, so, you know, I never want to try to push my prices on anybody, so I could always just say, it's like, you know, sorry, this is the best I could do, and no hard feelings, and I hope there's no hard feelings on your end. It's not that I don't want to draw for you, it's just that it'd just be really hard for me to put time into something like that, especially when other people are already paying like the price that I've already set. So I think for something like what you've shown, you can definitely find other artists that can do that. So it'll only be a matter of time, I believe. And sorry I couldn't help you out. I would always have a... yeah. Whatever, Thalgum. I kept buying dinner for you last week. Shut up. You were the one all starving. Now I feel bad. Yeah, Jill's butt is looking really big here. If I ever get the money, I'll make sure to come back. Oh, thanks, Treve. I really appreciate that. That's why I like graphic designers. They're more comfortable than me. 5,000 for a logo. Yeah, logos take a lot of time, so I imagine that. I'm making my own anime or manga comic book series with my OC. Nice, Skull Crusher. How's that going? I used to do a little webcomic on the side, and that was like pretty tough, but it was a lot of fun, so yeah. To be honest, you do not charge enough for your work. 52 to 2 hours, that's not enough. I'm an artist. I know the amount of work behind these things, and I charge more. I know. Trust me, Art of TK, I know. I do have a lot of my art colleagues tell me I have to raise my prices, but it's always like a hard leap, you know? And it's just like, you know, I hate admitting it, but it's just like the confidence is just like, I don't think I'm worth this much. I do hear people say you should raise them. Probably when I do taxes this year, that's usually when I have to really get down to reality and start raising them up again. So, you know, I appreciate that you say that though, or, you know, I really do. So it does give me a little more like, you know, I should realistically work within my means, right? So I definitely took what you said to heart right now, so thank you. It's always good to know. Just double them. Just double them, Fire! Dang! I've linked to my OC? Yeah, sure, I'll look at it, Skull Crusher. Go for it. She does have specials sometimes, to keep out on view. Yeah, sometimes. I haven't had one in a while, but sometimes you never know. If you follow me, you will know. I would say for your work, 40 to 50 for 1 hour. Whew. That would be the dream, Art of TK. But I mean, maybe. I mean, I could try it. We'll see how it goes. Once you raise your prices, it's hard to go down, you know? But that would solve a lot of my problems if I could get away with charging that much. So we'll see. Sorry, I'm like shaking my hands all hard.